I'm Marc Stevens, author of Government Indicted, and the website, of course, is marcstevens.net. Do a radio show dedicated to bring about a voluntary society. We're live every Saturday from 4 to 7 Eastern Standard Time on the Liberty Radio Network. That's LRN.FM. It's called the No State Project because, of course, there are no states, there are no citizens. It is all just a bunch of fictions. But if you disagree and you think you can prove that there are states and citizens, give us a call. We're live every Saturday. I'll set you up as a guest, and if you can set it up, I'll do another live broadcast. I'm willing to do this in real time. We don't have to record it, although if that's all you can do, I'm happy to record it also. And you can record from your side, so when I air it, you know that I'm playing the unedited version. I got another call of shame here. It's going to be at the end of this live part of the video. Live action part. And it's with the Internal Revenue Service. Not very long. It's only about 4 minutes. Boy, it's a good one, as they tend to be. And I'm only putting this up and making a video because he's using a standard tactic. Because when a bureaucrat is attacking you and you start challenging to defend yourself, if you do it effectively, if you're doing it in any kind of effective manner that actually shows that they don't know what they're talking about, they will start using certain diversion tactics to distract you. It's like, let's get the attention away from me, the IRS agent, the psychopath who has no evidence whatsoever, and let's get it over here. Raise a straw man, anything to get the attention away, because the main tactic that bureaucrats and politicians use will be diversion. Okay, it's always to get you off the subject. Because when you make a moral or a factual challenge to the way they do business, there is no moral or factual basis other than it's by a gun. And so they have to run and hide. They have to use these diversion tactics. They're very dishonest. And we know that they're dishonest because, like you'll hear in the recording, even after I correct the agent, he's still insisting that I'm doing something I'm not doing. And I have the recording there for you to judge. So this is just like what Gary Murphy said. This is one of the many very embarrassing calls to the IRS. So now, just to break it down, we know that the way I'm doing it is to simplify this, that we know that the IRS is using the exact same foundational argument that, or presumption, that every other government agency uses, regardless of the physical location. It doesn't matter. And that is, if you are physically in Arizona or Toronto, wherever, if you're physically in Arizona, then the laws of the government of the state of Arizona apply to you. There's enough evidence on the website to prove that. Even the critics, that's one of the few things they agree with me on. They believe that that's absolutely true. They don't have a shred of proof, not a single fact to support the argument, but nonetheless, they believe it's absolutely true. So true, doesn't have to be proven. So that's the argument, so we'll put that up there. The argument is, if you are physically in Arizona, then the Constitution and laws of the government of Arizona, or the state of Arizona, apply to you. It's the argument. So, we want to know what facts support the argument. Now, we already know that it's based on the premise. The argument is set up that you're physically in Arizona, then the laws apply to you. That's the argument. But they give you one single fact, your physical location. We want to know what facts actually support the argument that just because I'm here, the laws apply to me. So I asked the IRS agent that question, can you confirm yes or no that there are any facts proving the Constitution and Code apply? And if there's any jurisdiction even require a return? And he actually claimed he didn't know which Constitution and Code I was talking about, so I was a little trying not to offend the guy. The U.S. Constitution, the United States Code. You remember the one that you're actually using against my client to say that you have a right to do this and demand a return? So after some discussion, which because of personal information and whatnot I just cut out, plus he just drones on that I just can't listen to it again, and I don't want to. I give you one example in the call to shame, so you do know some of what he said in that long dialogue. What he does is he accuses me. Well, first of all, before we get into that, I want to go into the two main distractions that they'll use, how they will lie to get around answering the question. So the first one we know from the recent video is, hey, I'm not going to argue with you, Mark. I'm not going to argue the law with you. Just asking a question. It's not arguing. It's asking a question. So the other one that they use is, hey, I'm not going to debate the law with you, Mark. I'm asking a question. It's not a debate. See, to argue and debate requires me to already have a position. I don't have a position when I'm talking to the agent. At least I haven't said it yet. If I have a position, it's because they don't have any evidence. So it's not, I'm not arguing or even debating. I'm just asking for that. If they disagree with me, it's still not a debate. They just have to produce the evidence they say they're supposed that they have. If they disagree with me, oh, well, Mark, you're an idiot because the evidence is right here. Not a debate. It's not an argument. It's a fact-finding mission, and we're just it's a query. So when you listen to the recording, and again, for all those who think it's just an honest thing that he's doing, maybe the first time. I give you the first time. Not after I correct you. So the first time he says to me to dodge the question, he doesn't say, I'm not going to argue with you. He doesn't say, I'm not going to debate you, Mark. He says, I'm not going to interpret the law for you, Mark. Well, obviously anybody with half a brain in their head realizes that asking for the facts that your argument is based on is not asking for a legal interpretation. You already did that. So the interpretation has already been done. But he does it a second time. I already correct him. And so he refuses. He breaks down, okay, what's your question? So I ask the question again. What facts do you rely on to support your argument that the Constitution and Code apply and that there's jurisdiction over, that the IRS has jurisdiction? And he says, I'm not going to interpret the law for you, and he hangs up the phone. Obviously, asking a question is not an interpretation of the law. So imagine a cop going and stopping you and ask for your, can I see your license and registration? Hey, tough guy, I'm not here to interpret the law for you. You see how ridiculous that is. Example also I use is if you're on cross-examination, the prosecutor asks you a question, you say, whoa, Mr. Prosecutor there. I'm not here to argue or debate the law for you, and I'm certainly not sitting in the witness box to interpret the law for you. Obviously, they're going to look at you like an idiot, because if you use statements like that in response to a question of fact, that's pretty idiotic. And you're not fooling anybody. But that's the way the IRS plays it. And of course, he just hangs up the phone. Because forcing people to pay you, it means never having to be honest, never having to be professional, and certainly never having to have any evidentiary support for your argument. None. Nothing. No, period. That's why we say, like Lysana Spooner wrote, they're just a gang of killers, thieves, and liars. Everything they have stolen, and everything they say is a lie. But those are the ones to watch out for. So if you're in a situation where you're discussing things with a politician and you're just asking for the facts, which is all you should be doing, when you hear these three words, I'm not going to argue with you, I'm not going to debate with you, I am not here to interpret the law for you, say objection, or just say, whoa, pardon, or excuse me, with all due respect, no one's asking you to do that, please just answer the question. They are definitely acting in bad faith. And what I would also suggest doing is maybe giving them a heads up and say, whoa, since you are working for a federal agency, giving false statements would be considered a felony under Title 18, Section 1001. And outside the U.S., maybe it's perverting the course of justice. And I would file a complaint against the agent for whatever that is worth. Okay, my name is Marc Stevens. If you disagree with anything in the video, if you think that there is evidence proving the Constitution and Code apply to someone just because of their physical location, bring it on. I'd love to hear it. And if you think I'm wrong, if you think that asking a question really is and asking, it really is an argument or a debate or asking for a legal interpretation, give us a call. Show me the evidence. Okay, my name is Marc Stevens. The website is marcstevens.net.
Okay, that there was a lot of information, but you initially said yes to the question, so you are affirming that, saying that yes, there is evidence, facts proving that the Constitution and Code apply to Tom.
Well, I don't know what Constitution code you're talking about.
I'm
telling you,
talking about the United States Constitution, the United States Code.
Well, okay, I'm not here to interpret the law, the Constitution, none of that. Okay?
I'm not asking
I'm telling
you that, sir.
per his. Well, yes, you are. You're trying to put me in a situation where I'm going to say,
Mr. When I'm asking you for evidence, and I've been very patient, I've listened to you, I've let you talk, and you're interrupting me again. Did the end of my sentence interfere? Look, I told you before, I'm not asking you to interpret anything. I'm asking you to confirm. And initially, I think you did say yes before you went on to a long discussion about certain things that have happened. And I just want you to confirm that that's what you meant when you said yes. That you were confirming yes, there are facts to support your argument. The Constitution and Code apply to him, and the IRS has jurisdiction to require a return.
Are you a CPA or are you an attorney or what is your title?
My title is not relevant, sir, as to whether you answer the question or not.
I'm asking you a question.
But you're not answering my questions.
I'm gonna release the phone call. I'm asking you nicely. Are you an attorney or are you a CPA?
I am neither of those. Now, can you please answer my question?
Okay, you are neither of one of those, correct?
I don't need to be. I'm the third-party authorization for this call. He's already verified his identity. He's already given you authorization to speak to me. Please stop dodging the issue. And we were on hold for over a half hour, so please don't hang up the phone.
I've got questions to ask myself before I go any further, okay? So it goes both ways. You ask me a question, I answer it. I ask you a question, you answer my question, okay?
You haven't answered my question, though.
If we're going to go into whether, and you're, I have several notes that I'm reading here that he is required to file. So I don't know what you're talking about, the Constitution, and you go back to the books, you can read the Constitution, you can see whether he's required to file or not. Per the IRS, or what I'm seeing is he is required to file a tax return for 2010. And I already gave you the reasons why. He had distributions on retirement. He had wages, and he was required to file a tax return. He did not. We sent a legal notice out informing him of his 90-day statutory notice to file the tax return.
Here we go again.
And it had if he wanted to petition the courts at that time, that he could go ahead and do so. He did not, so we turned around and filed a return for him.
You've just repeated something that didn't need to be repeated. Instead of just answering my question, I need you to confirm.
Okay, well,
you're
I'm going to release the phone call because we're not going to talk about the Constitution. We're not going to talk about his legal right to petition the courts. We're not going to, or his legal right, whatever you're discussing. Okay.
Please don't hang up the phone. At least put your supervisor on. Do not hang up the phone.
I can't put my supervisor. I cannot put my supervisor. I can have him call you at a better time within the next 24 hours. But they're going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you right now. We're not here to interpret the Constitution.
I didn't ask you that. And you keep saying that. That's a false statement. I'm not asking you to interpret the law.
Well, what is your question again?
What facts do you rely on, to prove that the Constitution and Code apply to Tom?
Goodbye. You have a good day.
No, don't hang up the phone. Have the supervisor call back. Let me give you my phone number.